Hey folks, it's Reena Jadhav here at SplashX Invent Health, and we're hanging out at UCSF. And one of the startups that I coach is Sentio Feel, and I'm so excited. I found George in attendance. George, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
George is the founder CEO, and we've had a couple of years of really great success. So let's start with, tell everyone, what does Feel do?
Sure, absolutely. So we're developing a technology that can monitor your mental health 24/7. So it's a wristband that monitors the response of your body to different emotional stimuli, and then based on that we can recognize how you feel. So because we can tell if you're sad, if you're angry, if you're stressed, we can give you the right advice at the right time through the mobile application. And then we take this data to a therapist who is able to use them to make a therapy session much more effective and efficient. So they can reduce the time that they spend with each patient, and they can serve many more of them on a daily basis. So we're providing the solution that is called Augmented Mental Health Program to health plans, self-insured employers, and life and disability insurance providers. And we're actually about to start our commercial deployments in a few weeks with a big health plan in California. So couldn't be more excited to bring this to market.
Congratulations, there's a lot of great milestones, especially since I've known George since before any of this existed. So you've obviously had some very interesting experiences from a fundraising standpoint. So let's talk about that for just a moment.
Absolutely.
How much money have you raised?
So we just closed our latest round. It's not announced yet, so I cannot talk a lot about that. In the past, we had raised $2 million. It's always a challenge, especially in the healthcare space, to get enough money before until the time that you have clinical validation and you have proven your business model. And we couldn't, like, you were one of the people that advised us, and we couldn't have done it without you. So thank you very much, Reena. It's been really great to see that while you grow, while you achieve more milestones, you see more investors interested in what you're doing, and this is what we realized over the past couple of years.
And what's one secret to closing money? Share with those who are in the process.
Well, finding the right investor. I think that whatever you do, even if your pitch is perfect and your traction is perfect, if the investor is not really believing in what you want to achieve, it's going to be really hard to persuade them. You have to find someone that is a believer and have a strong conviction about what you're doing, and then it's going to be easy.
Now let's talk about your product. Your product's very cool. It's a wearable.
Yes.
Do you have a sample?
Here it is, yes.
All right. So describe it. How does it work?
Sure. So probably you have noticed how you sweat when you're stressed, or how your heart is pounding faster when you're angry. All those are indicators from your autonomic nervous system that is telling you that a particular emotional stimulus just happened. So what we are doing is monitoring those changes in the physiology of the body, in order to identify similarities in the patterns that are related to specific emotional activity. And this field has been studied a lot over the past 10 years in university, 20 years actually, in universities like MIT and elsewhere. So we're not reinventing the wheel, but we're taking the wheel outside of the lab to the real world. So yeah, that's how we're able to recognize how you feel, and this is the basis of the whole offering.
Now, you came up with the idea. Obviously, you went and built the product, and then you had to make a decision, right? So do I go directly to consumers, or do I start to pursue sort of a channel partner? Share with our listeners and viewers what strategy you chose, and then how did you implement that?
Absolutely. So basically we started as a direct consumer product, and to be honest, it was really hard to leave that business model to go to a B2B business model, because we saw so much interest from consumers.
You had a big list sign up.
Yeah. Yes, we had over 15,000 people waiting for this product to get out in the market. However, what we realized is that in order to provide clinical efficacy and clinical effectiveness, we needed to have a therapist in the loop as well.
Yes.
And this would increase the price significantly because of the cost to having a licensed therapist in the loop. And that's why we turned to health plans and self-insured employers, that they had a very big need to increase the access that they give to their employees and members to mental health services. So that was the reason why we decided to change the business model and now we're focusing solely on selling to B2B clients. However, we always have the end user in mind, who's going to be a consumer. This doesn't change, and this is the priority for us. How can we make the end user improve their mental health?
And who is your customer? Who's writing your checks at this point?
Sure. So unfortunately, I cannot talk about that either right now. But we're focusing on both commercial and Medicaid populations in terms of payers and health plans, as well as big employers coming from consulting or different backgrounds. Basically, the end user is population suffering from anxiety or depression, and hopefully very soon we'll be able to expand our offering to other conditions as well.
Okay. And now you did a deal with a large payer.
Yes.
What was the key in making that happen? Because your product is not that far out, right? You're not even launched. How were you able to get this payer to agree?
Patience. That was the secret sauce.
Patience.
It takes a long time. So we were, again, going back to what I was saying about investors, I think that even for clients, finding the ones that they have strong conviction about what you're doing is critical. We were grateful and very lucky to find this particular health plan that was very excited about a solution like ours, and they had a really big need for something like this. And we moved really fast at the beginning, but then the whole process and bureaucracy that it takes to develop a contract and a deal actually slowed us down significantly. That's why I said patience.
How long did it take, beginning to end?
9 months.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, this is what we hear again and again. But the thing is that we got confirmation from them after a few weeks. So they were really fast to move forward and say, yes, we're going to do this. So it took 8 months for the processing.
Okay. And where are you right now in terms of the actual product? How many people have tested it, and what results? So finally, what results have you seen?
Sure, absolutely. So we have tested the technology with over 500 people. The results that we see is accuracy rates north of 85% in recognizing the emotional state of the person. And also at the same time, we're conducting a lot of research studies with major institutions like the Department of Psychology at the University of California, Riverside. We recently started a collaboration with the Department of Psychiatry at Harvard Medical School, and we'll start a few studies there. Right now we're running 7 different studies with over 1,000 participants that will help us go beyond the emotional or as a data point and identify other biomarkers that would give us a lot of information about mental health. Imagine if you would be able to tell if someone is going into a depressive phase and notify their caregivers to avoid suicide.
Absolutely.
Or identify if someone is having a panic attack. So this is what we're researching. The results that we see both on the current offering and on the future biomarkers are very, very encouraging. We see, based on the pre-pilots that we're running right now, an engagement, a very high engagement that makes people take action. We see individuals having over 9 or 10 mental health actions per week. Which is...
And how do you define an action for those who don't know?
Sure, absolutely. Mental health action is writing a journal, doing a breathing exercise, doing meditation.
And these are self-reported, right? So you have an app which says, report what did you do based on the response.
Exactly. We actually trigger those through the app. And what we see is that because of the risk management, because we can recognize how the person is feeling, 90% of those mental health actions come from notifications that we give to the user.
Exciting.
Which is very, very big. We're still trying to run more trials. The goal would be to run clinical trials in Q4 of 2019, and the goal is to get clinical level validation in this program. But
very exciting.
Until now, the results are really positive.
Very positive. All right. What is a tip for those founders that are interested in digital health? You've accomplished so much in the last few years. What is one piece of advice that can help them be successful too?
So first of all, we haven't accomplished a lot yet. We're still very early, but many thanks for that, Reena. I think it's finding the right mentors, the right advisors, like Reena here.
Aw,
It's
thank
been
you.
a tremendous help for us, and all the people that have helped us over the past few years. I think we wouldn't have made it up to that point if we didn't have them. So I think that this is number one, and this applies, of course, for the team as well. Having the right team that supports you
Absolutely.
in your journey is absolutely critical. And also being, since we're in a mental health event, taking care of your mental health, I think, is paramount. In the last fundraising round, I gained 20 pounds. So obviously I was not taking very good
Yeah.
care of my mental health.
So you decided to put your device on?
Well, it helped a lot, but it's business for me now. So
Yeah.
but yes, I think it's very important for entrepreneurs to take care of this
Yeah.
aspect of our lives as well.
That's actually a really, really important point. So for all of those out there that are doing startups and burning the midnight oil and worrying about your next salary check, how is it going to show up? Take care of yourself, deep breathe, meditate, go for a walk, find some friends. Don't suffer alone. So with that said, thank you so much again.
Thank you very much, Reena. Thank you.